If your money situation isn't what you want it to be, and nothing you've tried has provided a solution, or at least not a really satisfactory one, and you are interested in changing that, then I can help you. And I encourage you to pay attention to this potentially life-changing educational video. I'm confident it can not only make a powerfully positive difference in your finances, which would be pretty cool even if that was all it could do, right? But in every area of your life. And I think you'll agree that would be very cool. So stick with me here. Hi, my name is Brad Yates, and I want to let you in on a little secret about you and your relationship to money. You might find this hard to believe, but right now, at this moment, you are 100% financially successful, according to your internal beliefs about money, that is. Your beliefs about how much you could or should have, what you are capable of handling, what is acceptable, and so on. Part of you may be trying to dismiss this idea. That part might even go so far as to say something like, "That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard." And that's part of how you limit your wealth. If you have beliefs about why it isn't right to have more money, then dismissing this information is a brilliant way to take care of yourself. And I do mean brilliant. Chances are you are a lot smarter than you know. Too smart for your own good, in fact, as you'll see. You aren't experiencing financial lack because you aren't smart enough. But being smart can be dangerous if you are programmed with misinformation. That is why it's important that you hear me out. Your mind is the most powerful money-making tool there is. Unfortunately, it can also be the most powerful money blocker. So the bad news is that your internal beliefs are limiting your experience of money. But the good news is that there's something you can do about that. If you really want to have more money in your life, you're going to have to change your mind about money. And I'm going to share with you how to do that. I have a life that I love now, and I want you to do the same. Not just for your own sake, but because it will benefit countless others as well. And I'm able to do what I do because I use the information I'm sharing with you now. See, it wasn't always this way. I have spent plenty of time resisting money, thinking that I was protecting myself. Let's be clear, I wasn't thinking this consciously, and you probably aren't either. As far as your conscious mind is concerned, you may think money is awesome, and you'd love to have more of it. Tons of it, in fact. So why don't you? You may immediately come up with a bunch of reasons, and some of them may even seem convincing to a lot of folks. But the truth is, in spite of all your reasons why you couldn't have more money, plenty of other people are enjoying a great deal of wealth. And some of them started out with less than you have right now. It's not that they are better or more deserving than you. They just have less resistance to money. And so can you. Interested? The truth is, the universe is abundant. In spite of what a lot of folks are trying to convince you, in spite of the doom and gloom reports and the bleak outlook so many people are propagating, there is more than enough money for everyone to have plenty. You really could have financial prosperity. Here's the thing to understand. The extent to which you are not experiencing more money is the extent to which you are resisting it. Of course, this isn't just the case with money. This is true for anything you might consciously say you want, but aren't allowing. This is why this video can benefit you in all areas of your life, not just financially. Because here's the thing, money isn't really the problem. It's only a symptom. Some folks allow plenty of money, but their health isn't all that it could be, or their relationships aren't so great. But most of us do it with money more than anything else. And it's easy to find others who will agree with us about money problems. And we convince each other that the problem is outside of us, so it isn't even our responsibility to change it. But it is, and you can change it. And I hope today's the day you take responsibility for changing your money situation. Don't get me wrong, this isn't about blaming yourself for what seems to be wrong. You've been doing the best you could, given what you've been taught. We don't block good things because we are bad or stupid. We just have misinformation. Old programming that has us convinced that, illogical as it may sound, we are safer not having these things. When you free yourself from that old programming, you have the freedom to succeed, financially and otherwise. So in the case of money, why might we resist it? At a conscious level, we might all agree that it's good to have it, and the more the better, right? But if we dig a little deeper, not all of us are truly on board with that notion. Imagine there are a bunch of parts of you inside, each with well-informed opinions about everything, including money. And some of these parts, based to a great extent on old negative programming about money, are convinced we should do what we can to limit the harm it can do in our lives. If enough of our parts feel this way, well, the majority rules. And if you want to know how the majority feels about money, just take a look at your current financial situation. You have as much as the majority thinks you should have, what is safe to have. Why would we think it's not safe to have more? What have you heard about money? Has it all been positive, or have you heard a lot of bad things about the stuff? How many times have you heard, "Money is the root of all evil. Rich people are bad. You have to work really, really hard in order to make money." The list goes on and on. They may as well be saying, "Thou shalt not be rich." And a lot of this stuff hits us when we are young and very impressionable kids. So even if we might luck into some positive thoughts about money, it's piled on top of a shaky foundation. This stuff sinks in, and these thoughts make us internally uncomfortable with money, more so than we're aware of. This isn't about blaming your parents or anyone else for screwing you up with bad money programming. They were doing the best they could with the programming they got. If they'd been taught that money was bad, they felt it was their duty to pass this on as a way of helping you. And they may not have even been consciously aware of doing it. Speaking of which, if you have kids, what limiting beliefs are you passing on to them? Along with what may have been said about money, there are also the other things we pick up. If we experience the pain of seeing our parents fight about money, our young mind is likely to associate money with pain. In newspapers and magazines, in books, TV shows and movies, at school, work, and elsewhere, most of us are bombarded with messages about money that would understandably make us uncomfortable. Do you want to know how comfortable you really are with money? Like I mentioned before, just take a look at how much you have. It's the clearest indicator, in spite of what you might consciously be telling yourself. Chances are, like most people, you try to avoid things that make you uncomfortable. So it's no wonder, with all these uncomfortable thoughts about money, that so many of us limit how much we have of it. And then we brilliantly create other reasons to justify our lack of wealth. And then we convince each other and we agree with each other about these reasons so that we get to feel right, even though we actually aren't. Because one of the funny things about human beings is that we love to be right. But let me ask you, would you rather be right, or would you rather be rich? Rich, right? And you get to decide what rich means for you. That question may have started an internal debate. In order to have more money in your life, you're going to need to feel more comfortable with money. And I can show you how to do that, because I've done it in my own life. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. So looking at all the negative programming about money, and people who have a lot of it, money is the root of all evil, rich people are bad, you have to work really, really hard in order to make money, etc. Can you see why some parts of you may want to have nothing to do with money, or at least limit it as much as possible? You don't want to be bad, you don't want to do evil, and it's possible you don't want to have to work that hard, especially if you have to do work you don't enjoy, which is what many of us are taught. And given how rich and successful people are often treated in the media, part of you can't understand why anyone would want that. So we protect ourselves by avoiding money. We may still fantasize about it and make claims about how much we want, and part of us says, "That's fine, dream all you want. We just need to make sure it never happens." And we are brilliant enough to do so. We get distracted and miss opportunities, we forget to do things, we find reasons why we can't take action. We are geniuses when it comes to avoiding money. So look at your situation. If you are thinking you are getting it wrong, cut yourself some slack. You are getting it right, based on misleading instructions. You just need to get the right manual and unlearn some of what you've been thinking and doing. Some of us may even do our due diligence in trying to get money. Rather than avoiding money-making opportunities, we work hard and do what we've been told it takes in order to get money. But somehow it slips through our fingers. because we are brilliant, and if we are convinced that financial abundance is wrong or dangerous, we will make sure we don't have it, even if we seem to be really good at making money. This is why perfectly valid systems for making money may not have worked for you in the past, leaving you scratching your head wondering what went wrong. If you aren't comfortable with money, you will limit your experience of it, or at least a joyful experience of it, until you clear that discomfort, at least to the point where the positive feelings and beliefs about money outweigh the negative ones. Nothing is likely to work for you. And I totally get that not having money can be very uncomfortable. If you are experiencing painful financial lack, there's part of you that is saying, yeah, this hurts, but the pain of having more money would be worse. I know it doesn't sound logical. If we operated in a completely logical way, we'd figure out what it takes to make money, then do that, manage the money well, and live happily ever after, financially and otherwise. Since most of us don't do that, I'm going to show you how to shift the beliefs that cause you to think and behave in illogical ways. In my case, I had no excuse for the financial troubles I experienced. I was well educated, smart enough, but I was chronically underemployed, or more often than not, unemployed. I just couldn't get myself to show up where the money was. And this is in spite of being something of a self-help junkie. I thought I was looking for the answers, but at the age of 34, I moved with my wife and kids back into my parents' house. Not exactly the picture of success. I know now that I was doing the best I could, based on my beliefs at that time, but it didn't feel like it then. That was the lowest point in my life. I had no money, no work, little motivation, and I wasn't very useful. And my health wasn't all that it could be either. But that's when I started using the process that turned things around for me, in a way that nothing else had. I guess I was ready. I hope you don't need it to get that bad before you take on this new way of thinking. And maybe you're there, or worse. But there is hope. Now, I won't pretend that I was an overnight success. In teaching this process to others, I have seen some remarkable results happen in sometimes staggering ways. But this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. Believe it or not, that's actually a good thing. Because if you were to luck into a lot of money while you still feel uncomfortable with abundance, you're going to make sure you get rid of it almost as fast as it came in. Don't believe me? Check the statistics of lottery winners. Many, if not most, soon end up worse than they were before they won. And I'd bet pretty much all of them would have insisted beforehand, well, that won't happen to me. Again, it's not that they or we are bad or stupid. It's just that we are taking care of ourselves. We are trying to avoid the stress that comes from our old programming about money. That's right, it comes from the programming, not the money. Fortunately, there's a simple and effective process for dealing with that stress. And I'm going to show you how to use it to feel more comfortable about money. When you feel good about money inside, it's a lot easier for it to show up outside. Of course, it's also possible that the discomfort that either blocks the money or makes us lose it isn't just from negative ideas about money itself, because there's a little something else that we are predisposed to find uncomfortable, something that tends to come with having more money. Change. Yeah, see, while part of us may want things to be different in some ways, another part of us hates the idea of change, dreads it, and we will unconsciously and brilliantly do things to avoid it. While your conscious mind is thinking about money and joyfully imagining a new car, a new house, dream vacations, etc., your unconscious mind is thinking about having to deal with insurance and having to move and taxes and who's going to want to take your money and all the other hassles of greater financial abundance. And the unconscious mind is a heck of a lot more powerful than your conscious mind. Some of the most stressful situations we experience are actually ones we consider very positive, such as getting married or having a baby. So even if the change to something new is something we really want, it's likely to cause some kind of stress, and stress isn't comfortable. And again, we tend to avoid what isn't comfortable. And since more money can make those uncomfortable changes possible, we'll avoid that too. I know, I'm being repetitive, but it's important that you are clear on this concept. I want to teach you how to deal with this stress and discomfort so you can have the life you really want. and you may find the solution surprisingly simple. You may ask, if it's so simple, why haven't I already figured this out? Because you have brilliantly stopped yourself from doing so. If figuring it out is going to lead to change, and change is uncomfortable, which actually makes it feel dangerous, you might go to great lengths unconsciously to keep yourself in the dark. This is the reason you may not have allowed yourself to hear this information before, or at least not allowed yourself to really take it in or use it. Now, just in case this seems a little too theoretical, let's take a brief look at the science of what's going on inside. See, there's a part of our brain that looks for danger. It's called the amygdala. It's in your midbrain, and it's about the size and shape of an almond. Amygdala is Greek for almond. There's a little factoid you can use to impress your friends at parties. Most of the time, hopefully, we are thinking from our prefrontal cortex, the most recently evolved part of our brain. This part is creative, clever, clear, really good at making positive choices. But when we get into a situation that seems to pose some kind of threat, the amygdala gets activated and we go into fight or flight. This is where all kinds of things happen in the body. Our breathing and heartbeat speed up, hormones are pumped into our system, etc., so that we are faster and stronger and can save ourselves from the threat. We no longer feel the luxury of problem solving with the prefrontal cortex, so the midbrain takes over to get us out of danger fast. Part of us is aware that there will be unfortunate consequences, but we'll deal with those later. We aren't looking for the best solution, we are looking for an immediate one. And this was all well and good back in the days when we faced actual life-threatening situations on a fairly regular basis. If we came upon a saber-toothed tiger, taking action quickly was a matter of life and death. Today, not so much. However, our brain still responds in the same way, to some degree, even to situations that logically seem to pose no threat. But again, we aren't always logical. Depending on our programming, just the look someone gives us, or that we perceive they are giving us, may trigger our defense mechanisms. We may not be saving our lives, literally, but maybe just our ego. Of course, as far as our ego is concerned, it is our life. The response may be subtle, almost imperceptible, but just enough to get us moving out of the threatening situation. So if you have beliefs about why it would be uncomfortable to have more money, and you come into a situation where more money is a likely or even possible result, at some level this warning system kicks in and you find a way to get yourself out of there, maybe even before you know it. So you may have no conscious awareness that this ever happened. You're just aware that your financial situation never seems to get better. Because it's necessary for our survival, we learn to do things very quickly and instinctively. We can't go through life having to figure out how to do the same thing over and over again. There was a time when simple things like tying your shoe or walking took all your concentration. Now you probably do these things without even thinking about them. Life would be pretty darn challenging if that wasn't the case. We likewise learn to avoid uncomfortable situations in the same unconscious way. You probably never even acknowledge how incredibly competent you've become at avoiding money. You've actually been taking care of yourself. I like to say it this way. Self-sabotage is simply misguided self-love. See, where your conscious mind might see a truck full of money bringing you all that you desire, your unconscious sees that you are about to get hit by a truck and knocks you to the ground out of harm's way, with nary a thank you. Appreciate your brilliant unconscious mind, and then retrain it. This is a powerful tool, and you can use it to draw money to you like a magnet rather than push it away. This is what I started to be able to do when I started doing the process I now teach. I will show you step by step how to use this process to become increasingly comfortable with money, such that you easily allow a lot more of it. Besides looking at this resistance to money from a brain science perspective, we can also look at it in terms of the law of attraction. There's plenty of information out there on the law of attraction, and you are probably at least familiar with it, if not a serious student of it. To simplify it, we could say that the law of attraction states that what we feel good about, we draw into our lives. And what we don't feel good about, well, not so much. You may argue, there are plenty of things I don't feel good about that are showing up in my life. Yes, that's what it looks like, but we need to understand that the unconscious mind thinks in terms of pain and pleasure. and thinks of these in a way that, as stated before, may not seem logical. What is unknown is generally seen as painful, even if it's something we think would be wonderful, and what is known, those things that are familiar, are seen as pleasurable, even if it's something we consciously consider awful. Your mind may look at crappy things in your life and say, yes, it's crap, but it's my crap. I'm used to it, and I know what to do with it, and I feel good about that. This may not seem to make sense, and is usually happening at a level we aren't consciously aware of. This is why so many people say, the law of attraction doesn't work. Many of us have done the exercises, spending a few minutes each day consciously trying to feel great about all the money we want but don't have in our lives, and then feel disappointed if it doesn't show up. But if we have limiting beliefs about why we couldn't or shouldn't have more money, then no matter how much money magnet energy we may actually be able to muster up for those few minutes, we are probably spending the rest of the day in an anti-money vibration. And chances are, part of you is in that vibration even during those few minutes of positive visualization. The law of attraction is definitely working. You are unconsciously creating a life that feels safest for you, based on your programming, much of which is misinformation. Here's something you really need to understand. 80 to 90% of our thoughts and behaviors are unconscious. Your beliefs about what is safe and comfortable for you are running your life. You can change these beliefs. You can change your mind about money. I know because I changed mine. As I did so, I started allowing myself to make money, and then more money. At one point, while I was working at a job that I previously would have blocked myself from having, I saw what the deputy director of our company was earning. I was doing okay on my salary, and looked at his and thought, I wouldn't even know what to do with that much money. I kept using the information I'm teaching you, and in just a couple of years, I was self-employed, doing work I love, the work I feel called to do, and was making twice what he was making. Naturally, I had to teach this, and while I was doing so, I wanted to find a bigger way to do so. And as I kept expanding my comfort zone, the way happened. You may know Dr. Joe Vitale from the hit movie The Secret, or perhaps you've read one of his many books. I had changed my mind enough about success and what was possible for me that I was able to manifest an invitation from Joe to be one of several speakers on a 4-part teleseries he was doing. We worked so well together that he invited me back on another of the calls. Here he is with the brand new BMW luxury sports car he says he attracted after my presentation. Joe and I found that we approached the law of attraction from the same perspective. Folks were being told to think about what they wanted and then to try to feel as good as they could about it. We both knew that if someone has negative beliefs about what they wanted, which they probably did if they didn't already have what they wanted, then those efforts to feel good about it were going to be limited at best, and probably even counterproductive, because the more they focused on money, the more they would be revisiting those old beliefs, triggering the discomfort and the need to avoid money. We knew it was necessary to clear these limiting beliefs. Hopefully by now you can see how this makes sense, whether we're looking at it in terms of the law of attraction or in terms of how our brain functions direct our behavior to keep us safe. Joe and I decided to put together a program that would help people change their minds about money, relieving the stress that they feel in terms of money and creating the space for more empowering and powerfully attracting beliefs about money. And Joe came up with this brilliant title, Money Beyond Belief. I love it because not only does that imply a lot of money, like an unbelievable amount of money, it also describes what we are after. The money you can have as you move beyond your current beliefs about money. The Money Beyond Belief program walks you through the process of addressing your limiting beliefs about money and clearing the uncomfortable fears and doubts so that you can see the truth. Abundance is all around. It is your birthright, and it's more than okay for you to joyfully experience it. In this audio training, we led a group of folks just like you through the process of clearing their limiting money beliefs. You will follow along and likewise gain freedom from yours. I'll introduce you to a scientifically proven stress relief technique discovered by Dr. Roger Callahan while trying to help a client overcome her fear of water. This is a simple tool you can use when you are stressed to move from fight or flight back to prefrontal cortex thinking. This process changed the way her mind processed the situation, and that lifelong fear response was cleared, so that water no longer made her uncomfortable. You will learn how to use this in regards to money so that you feel comfortable having more of it. You'll know that it is absolutely okay to have more of it, much more even. As you allow yourself to genuinely feel good about money and all the good you can do with it, you naturally make choices and take actions that bring more money into your life. You more easily see opportunities that were hidden from you by your own mind. As you realize consciously and unconsciously that it is safe for you to have more money, that the old beliefs were not the truth, and you become much more comfortable with the idea of having more money and the things that come with more money, you become a money magnet. Take a moment to imagine what it will be like to wake up every morning knowing you hold the key to abundance. How good it will feel to know you finally found the right mindset to achieve limitless wealth. And if you aren't able to feel 100% great about that yet, well, that's why we created this program. This isn't just an informational program. This is hands-on training, literally, taking you through exercises to eradicate the discomfort. And you'll be able to go through them as many times as you like, maybe even just for a few minutes a day. And the results get better and better. How long will it take to achieve specific results? That's a little like asking how many crunches you'll need to do before you have rock-hard six-pack abs. It depends on where you are starting from and how many you do. But I promise you these exercises will be a lot more enjoyable than crunches. Many people see incredible financial gains in a short while. But even if you set a big goal and it takes a year, that year is going to pass whether you are taking action to change your mind or not. Where do you choose to be a year from now? Even before you may see positive changes in your finances, you will notice that you feel calmer about financial matters. In fact, you're going to feel better in general. You will feel more confident, and this will benefit you in every area of life as well as financially. In the program, there are a variety of exercises you'll enjoy being taken through to change your mind about money, so that you have fun as you cultivate a powerful prosperity consciousness, one that makes creating wealth easier and easier. You'll also see how you can use this process, and even these same recordings, to shift your mindset about other areas of your life where you may be limiting your success, including your health and relationships. You will become happier and healthier as well as wealthier. We've received plenty of positive feedback from folks who have gone through this program. Mostly they are simple notes saying how much they love the program. They also tell how they feel better and are attracting more money. Here are a few we've received. The calls were amazing. It was absolutely the best description and explanation about how this works. I watched as beliefs that I had acquired in childhood got chipped away. I see that the universe's abundance is here for me too. I've been feeling much more positive surrounding money and what's possible in my life. I've cut my credit card debt and I am now building an internet business and investigating different investment options. Thank you. When any sort of negative thought comes, well, now it is neutralized within seconds. You deserve an awesome life. This program will guide you through the process of having the freedom to create this awesome life. And your next question may well be, how much is it? How much would having an awesome life be worth to you? Probably a lot more than what it will take to be able to download this program. While this course and the life-enhancing bonuses we've included are potentially priceless, and we could easily charge quite a bit for it and still have it be a great bargain, we wanted to make it available to as many folks as possible. So you can get Money Beyond Belief today for only $47. And just to make it even easier to say yes to having Money Beyond Belief, you can try the program risk-free. You'll have 60 days to experience these life-changing exercises. If in that time you don't feel this program can help you change your life for the better, we'll refund your money. So give it a shot, because you are worth it. Click the link below and get started allowing yourself to enjoy the abundance you are meant to have. And you'll not only get those teleclass recordings, but also a number of other bonuses, including some exclusive tapping videos. Here are a few more of the notes we've received. I learned many valuable insights through your teleclass on increasing one's prosperity. Already, I have noticed a significant shift in behavior. On Monday, as an example, I earned in one day an amount of money that took me nearly 5 days to accomplish the previous week. Thanks, Brad. I have seen a huge change in my life since using money beyond belief. I now feel as though I no longer work because I love what I do so much. For years, I could never afford to go on holiday. This year, I've been truly blessed to go on an amazing tour of Italy, and goodness knows what other wonderful things to come. Thank you. Within 1 week of listening to the calls, I magically found a legal and ethical solution to resolve a debt that has been haunting me for 3 years. I even found $20 on the ground, which is a vast improvement over pennies. I eagerly receive all the better and better gifts the universe is delivering to me. What do you really want from life? Whether the successes you want to achieve are financial or physical, personal or professional, whether you want to change the world or simply be happier, which I believe changes the world, the person who can do it is already inside of you. Let us help you set that person free. When asked how he produced such marvelous sculptures, the great artist Michelangelo responded that he saw the subjects already there, perfect inside the marble, and then just chipped away all the stone that didn't belong, revealing the masterpiece within. During this transformational program, you will likewise acknowledge the masterpiece that is already inside you and clear away the stuff that doesn't belong. Wealth, health, and happiness are your true nature. As you reveal the real you, as you allow yourself to believe in yourself and what you are capable of, you naturally think and perform more successfully. Perhaps it's time for you to feel better, do better, and live better. I hope it is, for your sake and for the sake of all those you will positively affect with your prosperity. It's time to take action. Click the link below, and I'll see you inside the program. I'm confident you're going to love it and the life it will help you create. Thank you for your time and your willingness to set your true self free and share that with the world. It's time to allow yourself to have money beyond belief.